Good afternoon, everybody. This is Nick Morgan at the National Weather Service in Peachtree City, giving you your weekly weather briefing on Wednesday, December 29th, 2021. And taking a quick look at our highlights, we have an unsettled weather pattern on tap through the weekend with two main systems we're going to keep our eye on. The first is going to be today and into tomorrow. Main threats for that are going to be the damaging winds and the potential for brief tornadoes. And then once we get through that, we're going to turn our attention onto the Saturday into Sunday morning system, as we're expecting a strong cold front to push through the area and the potential for some wintry mix on the backside of that on Sunday evening for North Georgia, mainly in the higher elevations. The key takeaway from this is that all hazards are going to be possible through the weekend, with damaging wind gusts the primary threat for this, with brief tornadoes, heavy rain, and then, like I just mentioned, the potential for some light snow showers for far North Georgia and the North Georgia mountains later into the weekend. And taking a quick look at the radar imagery outside, this is from the past couple hours. You can see some widespread moderate to heavy rain showers across central Georgia. Issued a few severe statements on that earlier this morning, and then you can see the rest of the preset moving across northern Alabama, and that's expected to impact our area later on into the afternoon, into the overnight hours, and one of the things that we're keeping our eye on. And taking a quick look at what we're expecting for today, as of recently, the Storm Prediction Center upgraded parts of northwest Georgia into the enhanced category, up from the slight chance that they initially had, and that's primarily due to the potential for increased damaging wind gusts. And then looking down into the metro Atlanta area, you can see that we're in a slight risk 2 out of 5, primarily along the I-85 corridor and northwest of that. And then looking down into the Macon and Columbus area, looking at a marginal risk. And the main timing that we're thinking of this is going to be from the afternoon into the overnight hours, probably around 8 p.m. to around 3 a.m. That's kind of the time frame that we're targeting at this time for the severe weather threat to impact the area. And our main hazards that we're going to be looking at will be those damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, a brief tornado or two, especially across North Georgia and northwestern Georgia, where we have the more dynamics needed for that, and then isolated flash flooding if we get these showers training over the same area or moving over the same area multiple times. And taking a quick look at the Storm Prediction Center Day 1 tornado probability, as you can see, the highest chances for those brief tornadoes are going to come across northwest Georgia, where we have that 10% risk. And then moving down into the Atlanta metro area along the I-85 corridor, and northwest of that, we're seeing the 5% chance. And then just nudging into the Columbus area and just north of Macon, we have that 2% tornado chance. But the real takeaway from this is, given the storm mode, that the storms don't really care what color they're in, so it's good just to be weather aware and keep an eye to the sky moving into the overnight hours, as that's when we're generally expecting the greatest threat. Again, probably between 8 p.m. to around sunrise tomorrow morning, just to kind of have that broad time frame for you for North Georgia. And taking a quick look at the Day 1 severe wind probability, keeping in theme, as you can see, for portions of far northwest Georgia, it's going to be your greatest chance for damaging wind gusts. And still across North Georgia, you're seeing that 15% chance, and then decreasing as we move into the Columbus and Macon area. But note that the Atlanta metro is in that 15% severe wind chance. So just something to keep an eye on. If any of these storms start to get that surface energy that they need and they start to bow out, that's when we really can start to expect those wind gusts to push through. And just to reiterate, we're more expecting this event to be a primary damaging wind gust threat rather than a tornado threat. We just cannot rule one out at this time. And in addition to the damaging wind threat and tornado threat, we also have an excessive rainfall threat as well. So our flash flood threat, again, is going to be contained mostly to North Georgia and portions of central Georgia. Looking at North Georgia, we're seeing amounts of 1 to 2 inches with isolated higher amounts as you get into the higher elevations. And then moving down into the metro Atlanta area, we could see up to 1 inch possible. But if we start to get storms that move over the same area repeatedly, we could see some localized higher amounts. And the main timing that we're thinking this is going to occur is going to be much of today, as we've seen already with multiple rounds of rainfall, and that's going to continue into the overnight hours. And taking a look at our threat level and confidence graphic for this system for today and tonight, as you can see, like we've been talking about, the primary threat is going to be damaging winds at a 3 out of 5, in addition to the heavy rainfall potential at a 3 out of 5. And then just slightly less, like we mentioned, brief spin-up tornadoes coming in at a 2 out of 5. The main caveat to this is that we're not necessarily confident in how this storm is going to develop moving into the overnight hours, as you can see on the right-hand side with the forecast confidence at a 2 out of 5. And that's mainly due to looking at satellite imagery, surface observations, and radar, and not necessarily knowing if we're going to make it and get those severe weather parameters that we'll need to have the severe weather that we're forecasting. And then as we move into Thursday, as you can see, much of north and central Georgia is in that marginal risk, which is a 1 out of 5. But again, keeping with the trend, lots of uncertainty remains with this system as it's dependent on multiple variables again and what happens with the storm system today. The primary threats that we're looking at right now will be damaging winds, heavy rain, and again the potential for those brief spin-up tornadoes moving into the afternoon period. And at risk of sounding like a broken record, here is the severe weather outlook for Friday, December 31st. As you can see, a marginal risk again for parts of North Georgia, including the Atlanta metro. And again, lots of uncertainty. It's dependent on multiple variables. As you can see where the yellow is in the top left corner, that's a slight risk. That's from a cold front that's going to slowly be pushing down this way as we move into the first half of the weekend. And the primary threats that again we're looking at with this system as it approaches will be those damaging winds and the heavy rain. And we can't rule out a brief tornado with this, but the threat is lessened at this time. And then moving on through the weekend, this is going to be for the Saturday system. As you can see, we have a 15% outlook for a large portion of the southeast, including portions of central and northwest Georgia. This again is that cold front that we talked about on the last slide, finally pushing through the area. And we are in agreement that with the latest model guidance that the greatest threat is across northwest Georgia. And the primary threats that we're seeing at this time will be damaging winds and heavy rain. And actually, the system on day 4 is one that we are more confident in than the upcoming systems. As you can see by the temperature differences, this is going to be a very strong cold front that's going to push through. On the left, you can see the Saturday night lows with the majority of the area in the mid to upper 40s, some reaching into the mid to upper 50s. And then as we move into Sunday night, a drastic difference of 20 to 30 degrees as we're seeing, near Dublin on Saturday it was 60 degrees, and then on Dublin on Sunday is going to be 30 degrees. So again, a very potent and strong cold front. So our confidence is increasing that we will see some form of severe weather moving on day 4 and on Saturday night into Sunday. And if we didn't have enough weather for you with severe weather, let's add some winter weather into the briefing as well. As you can see, after that cold front moves through that we talked about, there is a chance for some wintry precip across the far portions of North Georgia and the North Georgia mountains. Light snow showers, still way too far out to do any accumulations given the low forecast confidence at this time, but we're going to continue to monitor and we'll update you guys as needed as we move through the rest of these systems. And then also taking a look at the days 1 through 5, so from today and through the weekend, our rainfall estimates. As you can see, like we talked about, the potential for that flash flooding risk. A lot of the area is again going to be in the 1 to 2 inch range with upwards of 4 inches across North Georgia through Sunday. And we could be seeing some locally higher amounts, like we mentioned, if those storms start to move over the same locations repeatedly. Just something to be aware of as we move through the weekend, that we will have an active weather pattern. And then in summary, just to wrap up everything that we've talked about, we are expecting a very unsettled and active weather pattern through the weekend with 2 of the main systems that we're going to keep an eye on. And again, just that there's going to be a lot of uncertainty in the forecast, especially for the next few days. We're expecting several rounds of showers and storms today through Thursday. The most likely severe potential is going to be in North Georgia overnight tonight, probably between 8 p.m. to around 3 a.m. is the time frame that we're thinking. And sorry to keep it broad, but that's where our confidence is at the time. And the main threats are going to be those damaging winds if we get any of those storms starting to bow out, in addition to the potential for some brief tornadoes. And then as we move into Saturday and into Sunday, we're expecting that strong cold front that we talked about, with some isolated showers and storms possible for North Georgia late afternoon into the evening on Friday, with the outside chance of some severe potential ahead of the cold front. And then moving into Sunday evening into the night for North Georgia, there is that chance for that wintry mix that we talked about, but mainly think it's going to be across the higher elevations of North Georgia and then the North Georgia mountains. And then again, just to reiterate that all hazards are going to be possible through the weekend, with those damaging wind gusts, the brief tornadoes, the heavy rain upwards of 4 inches across North Georgia, and then the potential for those light snow showers coming in on Sunday evening into the overnight hours for the North Georgia mountains. And feel free to reach out to us if you have any comments, questions, concerns. You can also find some of the latest information regarding updates from the Severe Storm Prediction Center and the Weather Prediction Center with those flooding graphics at our new briefing page, which is weather.gov/ffc/DSS. Otherwise, you can reach out to us in NWS chat or on Twitter at NWS Atlanta. And have a great day.